Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and now that Marvel's Eternals is available on Disney Plus, everyone is now coming to terms with the wild implications of that movie's finale. Namely, what the hell happens to Earth now with a massive celestial corpse towering into the stratosphere? Like, we all got so caught up in Spider-Man No Way Home's memory logic that those ruins of Kafka also made us forget that even more destructive to the status quo of the MCU is this baby planet killer, at least on a seismic, geological, ecological, atmospheric, not to mention psychological scale. Earth is broken. So the real question is, did Marvel intentionally make this mess in Eternals and in No Way Home to F up Earth so badly that it must be rebooted in Multiverse of Madness? Let us explore how badly Tiamut's corpse broke the world and why. Explain! So according to Arishem in Eternals, Celestials are born from seeds planted inside of planet cores, and then they gestate, feeding on sentient life on the planet's surface until the population reaches the critical mass and the Celestial hatches, killing everything on the planet. When Arishem showed this process to Cersei, it happened relatively fast, but in the climax of the film, the emergence is much slower, starting with Tiamut's up-reaching hand and then just the top half of his head. Cersei transforms his golden form into pure marble, and we even see the lights of his eye holes extinguishing, leaving now this massive marble corpse in the Indian Ocean. But how big exactly is Tiamut? Well, according to the film's VFX supervisor Matt Aitken from Weta Digital, they estimated Tiamut to be 500 kilometers or about 300 miles from his head to his toes. To be precise, 500 kilometers is 311 miles. But judging from the full body shot of Tiamut halfway through the film, the top half of his head, that's the part that later juts above sea level, amounts to about 8% of his overall height. That would make the part of Tiamut's head towering above the Indian Ocean to be a height of 40 kilometers or about 25 miles. For context, Mount Everest is 8.8 kilometers or 5.5 miles, meaning the top half of Tiamut's head is 4.5 times taller than Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on this planet. To put this in an even scarier context, the Earth's troposphere, where we live and breathe and all weather events occur, is 18 kilometers or 11 miles above sea level. Above that is the ozone layer, which ranges from 15 to 40 kilometers or 20 to 25 miles above the planet. So yeah, Tiamut has broken through the ozone layer into the stratosphere. That would mean a devastating effect on weather conditions, UV radiation, and ocean tides, and that's to say the least. Because really this is a question of mass and mass displacement inside of the planet, in the Earth beneath Tiamut's body, because Tiamut gestated from a seed planted in Earth's core. Earth's planetary diameter is 12,700 kilometers or about 7,900 miles, and the core layer of this planet really begins at about 2,900 kilometers or 1,800 miles beneath our feet. So if Tiamut is 500 kilometers or 311 miles tall, and we're not really accounting for how wide or thick he is, just by height alone, that's 4% of the diameter. And that is a lot of cubic feet of mantle rock that Tiamut displaced as he emerged, which would cause massive explosions of rock elsewhere on the planet and continent-sized sinkholes in other areas. It would almost certainly destabilize the magnetic charge of the planet, throw it off of its gravitational axis, and yeah, just cause the whole planet to break apart as shown in Arishem's vision, even if only Tiamut's hand and head broke through. So yes, applying real-world physics, Tiamut should have just broken the Earth, and getting into MIT should have been the least of Peter Parker's worries. Now, of course, it is easy to just shrug this off, as even the VFX artist does in the interview. He says the logic and the scale are really just based on the needs of the sequence, and that's completely fair. It's a movie. Really, I think the more insane choice is that the Eternals film just leaves Marble Tiamut there all in one chunk, as seen in news footage at the end of the film. I love how it looks, but it wasn't the only way this film had to end. Cersei transformed huge boulders into birds. She could transform any material into any other material. She could have dispersed Tiamut's form into something more malleable to fill back in those holes, like sand or gravel or cookie dough. Now, a huge thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. With HelloFresh, you can get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. They make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable full? That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. I'm busy, you're busy, we all busy. HelloFresh offers a wide variety of quick and easy recipes, including 20-minute meals, easy cleanup, and low prep options. HelloFresh helps keep things simple with recipes and ingredients that cut out grocery shopping and limit meal prep time so that you can spend more time with friends and family. Or, just finally finishing that 4,000-piece Lego Death Star. No shame in that. It's a perfectly valid way to spend your time. A lot more of which you're gonna have thanks to HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, produce gets from the farm to your doorstep in under a week for peak freshness. HelloFresh has more 5-star reviews than any other meal kit, so you know you'll get something delicious. HelloFresh's pre-portioned ingredients mean there's less prep for you and less wasted food. I just got a HelloFresh delivery, made a wonderful pasta dish. It was awesome. So go to HelloFresh.com and use code ROCKSTARS16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. Now, one solution I think is fun is that the Avengers could use this corpse as their new compound, as they did in the comics with the massive corpse of the Celestial the Progenitor, which became Avengers Mountain, equipped with Wakanda tech, a circulator transportation system, a brain room, and a prison in the gut, which is where I imprison Cookie Dough. Since Avengers Compound was destroyed in Endgame, we don't really know what facility the Avengers get to use now, other than the sanctums of New York and Camertage borrowed from the Sorcerers, but I doubt that will be the case, since even Marvel executive Nate Moore indicated in an interview that elements from the Eternals film don't have to come back in future Marvel titles, which is a very rare tone for a Marvel executive to use. They're almost always like, we'll see, anything and everything could come back, but not here. To me, this signals that Chloe Zhao and her team were unleashed to go for broke in the way they leave the planet in Eternals, the same way, if you think about it, John Watts and his team were allowed to bizarrely gaslight the whole universe in Spider-Man No Way Home. And the best reason I can see that these titles being allowed to burn the house down when it comes to world logic is that Marvel Studios, at the end of the day, plans to reset this universe anyway in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Because we know it was the Celestials and Airship's plan to allow Earth to be destroyed so that Tiamut could be born, and when the Eternals thwarted that plan, some of them were whisked away for judgment. But right after Tiamut's emergence, they unpack how that happened.
Tiamut joined our Unimind.
I always wondered how we survived the destruction of other planets that we were on. By being connected to the Celestial as it emerged.
Yeah, while Phastos frames this as a kind of loophole they stumbled into, hijacking a celestial link coded into their reboot protocol, Makari's line reframes it with gratitude, a choice Tiamut might have made to allow them to survive at his own expense, sacrificing himself for something more important. Now, a more cynical mind could just view Makari as naive, like thanking a newborn who actually was ready to dust them off like Afterbirth, but I'm with Makari here. I think this Gen Z celestial baby knew something that its boomer forefathers didn't, because Tiamut fed on the sentient life of Earth, and that sentient life included a link with its most knowledgeable residents. Who is more sentient on Earth than Doctor Strange, who overloaded his brain with multiversal knowledge to bypass Thanos? Or more sentient than Wanda Maximoff, who's now a Scarlet Witch Nexus being possessed with an even deeper knowledge of the multiverse? Tiamut knew what Strange knows, what Wanda knows. The opening scroll of this movie explained that Celestials predate the Big Bang and therefore supersede the 6 Infinity Stones. So combine that cosmic hive knowledge with the nature of the universe with everything Tiamut has now learned from Doctor Strange and Wanda Maximoff's multiverse experiments, and Tiamut must know that these two Terrans on this eggshell, rather than just being blown out of existence, instead are super important to the future of this universe and need to be preserved to fix and to rewrite this reality into the new world that it will look like after this coming Nexus event. And that new world could include Tiamut's corpse being erased from the Indian Ocean, could include whatever Kevin Feige wants the MCU to know about Spider-Man, and could include anything else Marvel Studios wishes to improve about this planet in the MCU, like the fact that there aren't enough mutants on it. So there you go, the physics of Tiamut riding into our stratosphere and why he actually did us a huge favor by doing this. Explained. You can support New Rockstars by checking out our merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching out for us, baby Tiamut.